The crowd gasped as the officer shoved his finger into the soldier's chest. "You're under arrest, punk. Drop the weapon now," he barked, his voice echoing off the marble. The young tomb guard didn't even flinch, standing stone still at the tomb of the unknown soldier, his rifle held at his side. He stayed locked in his solemn duty. To everyone watching, the clash was surreal. A cop screaming, tourists shouting in shock, and yet the guard remained motionless, eyes forward, silent as the marble around him. The officer, red-faced with fury, snapped open his handcuffs. "Don't make me do this," he shouted. Gasps rippled through the crowd, parents pulled their children back. An elderly veteran shouted, "Leave him alone, that's an honored guard." But the cop sneered. "Nobody stands above the law. I said put it down." What the officer didn't understand was that this wasn't some random soldier playing ceremonial dress-up. This was an elite sentinel, one of the most disciplined warriors in the US Army, sworn to protect the tomb through blazing heat, freezing snow, and even threats like this. Trained to ignore distractions, he couldn't break bearing, not even now. His silence made the officer growl louder, his voice dripping with contempt. "Fine, you don't want to listen? Then you're coming with me," the cop bellowed, lunging forward with cuffs in hand. The crowd shrieked. Tourists whipped out phones. A mother screamed, "Stop, he's just doing his job." But before the officer could touch the guard, a voice thundered from behind the crowd. "Stand down. Officer!" The crowd split open like water. Out marched 6 men in civilian clothes, moving with a precision and presence that made everyone step back. Their faces were calm, but their eyes were sharp. And then someone in the crowd gasped loud enough for all to hear. That's a SEAL team." The officer froze, his arm still outstretched. "Who the hell do you think you are?" he snapped. The tallest of the SEALs stepped forward, his voice low but carrying the weight of command. "We're the men who protect the ones who protect this nation. And you, sir, are about 2 seconds from making the biggest mistake of your career." The crowd erupted into whispers. Phones shook in trembling hands. The tomb guard still hadn't moved, standing resolute, rifle glinting in the sun. The officer tried to laugh it off, though sweat was now dripping down his neck. "You can't just storm in here. I'm law enforcement." "He's brandishing a weapon in public. I'm doing my job." The lead SEAL stepped closer, his voice cutting through the air like steel. "No, you're disgracing it. That rifle isn't a threat. It's a symbol. That soldier isn't your suspect. He's a sentinel. Do you even understand what that means?" The officer faltered. His bluster shrank under the weight of silence. The SEAL continued, voice steady but full of fire. "That man is guarding brothers you'll never know. Men who never came home, names lost to history. He stands here not for himself, but for them, for every sacrifice buried beneath this stone. And you dare try to handcuff him?" The crowd was silent now. Several tourists wiped away tears. Even the officer's grip on the cuffs weakened. But still, he muttered defensively, He ignored my command." Another SEAL stepped forward, his jaw tight. "Sentinels aren't allowed to break bearing, not for rain. Not for snow, not for hecklers, not even for you. They've taken a vow of silence and respect. You should be saluting him, not threatening him." The cop's bravado collapsed. He lowered the cuffs slowly, eyes darting to the ground. Behind him, a veteran in the crowd stepped forward, his voice trembling but strong. "Son, do you know how many years I've stood in front of graves wishing someone was still guarding them? That young man is doing something holy. Shame on you." The officer's face flushed with humiliation. The SEALs didn't even need to push further. The crowd had turned completely. Murmurs of anger swelled into shouts. "Respect the guard. Apologize. Show some honor." The man who had come in full of authority now stood small and exposed, his badge no shield against truth. Finally he stammered, I didn't know. I thought," but the lead SEAL cut him off with a glare. "Then learn, and remember this. Not all uniforms are the same. Some carry the weight of eternity." Slowly the SEALs turned toward the tomb guard. One by one, in silent reverence, they raised their hands in a sharp salute. The crowd followed, veterans, mothers, children, all standing in solemn respect. Still the sentinel did not move, locked in his eternal vigil. But for a brief moment, The world around him seemed to bow in gratitude. The officer slipped away through the crowd, swallowed by his own shame. No one stopped him, because no one needed to. His punishment was written in every eye that refused to look at him with respect. And as the ceremony of silence continued, the lesson lingered heavy in the air. Respect is not commanded by force, but earned through sacrifice. Some uniforms demand not authority, but reverence. So remember, next time you see a soldier standing in the rain, in the heat, in the dead of night, guarding something you might take for granted, know that you are looking at living honor, because heroes don't always shout. Sometimes they just stand. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button, and drop a comma in the comments below.